Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 5th of August. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Big Tin Can, TPG, Appen, Vulcan Energy and Ecograph. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter. If you want our better ideas, you need to be getting the Dynamic Investor Report, which comes out every Tuesday. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. My main business is in portfolio management. So if you'd like to have a broking account with me and have me personally help you, then please call and we can have a chat about it over the phone. And all the advice here, of course, is general only. So if we have a look at Big Tin Can, we can see that sort of end of last year, early this year, it was in a downtrend. So quite simply, we've got the lower highs, the lower lows, and then we basically need to wait for it to get into an uptrend. So we can see it rallied in May, and then just under the prior high in April, it just congested in this tight range, and then broke higher in June. So, essentially that was the first buy signal, and since then it's gone on to put in sort of a couple of higher highs, higher lows. So it looks like now it is back in an uptrend. So quite simply, I think that the share price should just continue to head higher from here. TPG, so obviously hasn't done too well since changing its code about a year ago. There was a nice reversal here in May, so it had this massive day up here, closing, gapping up, closing on its high. I'll just zoom in a bit. On a big spike in volume, and then it's just been steadily increasing since then, which is a good sign. Now, it has struggled since the start of July. It hasn't gone anywhere, but I actually think this does look bullish. So we've got, after a big run up, instead of coming down sharply, it's just gone sideways, but we could see in a tight range. So in my opinion, we can see the tightening of the range here. So in my opinion, it's just a case of waiting until we get a break. It could break to the downside. It'll probably break to the upside. What I prefer though is to see it actually clear this high here. So if we a little bit more conservative, instead of having the diagonal lines, it's better to have just a clear horizontal boundary. So you've got around $6 here and here just under $6.40. So it's just a case of waiting for a clear move up here, and then that's the next buy signal. Okay, Appen, obviously if we zoom out, massive downtrend since about this time last year. It's still in a downtrend. We could see that previously there was sort of support around $15 that it broke down, and then it tried to get back up near there and rejected, unfortunately, and has drifted back. So we've still got a bit of selling in Appen, but as long as it stays above the May high, it may just go sideways. So, we could see that the volume down here is fairly decent. So we could just be getting a period of accumulation where it just builds a base for a while and then it's finally ready to head higher. So clearly if it breaks the May low, that's a negative. If it breaks, I think this level here, that's a positive. Anything in between, it's just neutral. It'll just, I think, just head sideways for a while. Okay, and Vulcan Energy, so I think this looks very bullish. We had a look at this one actually only a couple of weeks ago in the Dynamic Investor Report, the report I send out every Tuesday. So what we noticed was basically we've had all these higher lows since March. So after a massive sort of spike up on volume, eased back, started to put in these higher lows, which is good. There was a bit of resistance here around that sort of $9 mark, give or take. So what we had was a massive push through here on big volume, and then it came back here to retest $9, and this is when I wrote about it a couple of weeks ago. Basically holding $9 would be a positive, and we could see that it did do that on decreasing volume, which was good. And then it obviously just started moving at the end of last week. So popped up here, increased volume. Found a little bit of resistance here in the short term. But then yesterday gapped up, closed near its high, big volume. So, nothing wrong with this chart at all. This thing, I think it looks very bullish, and it should just continue to rally from here. Ecograph, so not too dissimilar to the last chart. So had this big spike up in volume, a lot of heat come out of the share price. So after pulling back here and then starting to move up here, I would have wanted to see it get through this level here at about 68 cents, so these prior peaks. So we could see it struggled, had another go, and then popped up here. So that was the first, the break above 68 cents, I think, would have been the first buy signal. And then again, it just came back and sat on top of that, just like Vulcan, retested it, and then it's popped up again last week. And again, we've got, so this sort of tight range popped up, and then last couple of days are really bullish, as we could see gap up here, closing near the high, and then the spike in volume on that day. And then yesterday again, gapped up, closed near the high, big volume. So again, this is another one on the move. So I'd continue to hold this. I think this should rally pretty well from here. All right, well, that's all for this week. As always, if you have a request, send it through. I'll try to include your stock next week.